City played against Liverpool. That was a great. Well, on paper, that's supposed to be a good game.
It's a very important.
I'm not saying it wasn't a good game. It's just that when you see a team ragdoll in another team, it's more like, kind of wish there was more competition among them, But City Liverpool 3-0. I did not expect 3-0.
Right.
But I also felt like City would win just because of Liverpool.
I was expecting a City win. I was hoping for a draw between the two to split the points up, and so that it would extend Arsenal's lead. But I didn't expect this complete demolishing. But yeah, I expected City to get the better of Liverpool. They're in better form right now. It looks like they're figuring out a bit more of their midfield woes. They're able to connect more passes together. Liverpool still in the midfield are unable to really string a series of passes together for forward momentum.
So would you think Wirtz is not really looking like the money they paid to get this guy?
No, well...
Or it's just because the people... Because we could look at it that way, or we could also look at the faultiness of the strikers to put the ball in the net when Wirtz are making this pass. Because you're only as good as a passer as your striker, because if he can put the ball, it falls back on you, right?
Yeah. I think that, well, first off, we've had this conversation in the past. No player is worth $100 million. So is he worth the money? No. Can someone pay those wages?
Even Messi?
Yes, they can. Yes. I don't think that any one player is realistically worth that kind of, that's crazy. Because if they had spent that much money on Messi in the past in Barcelona, the rest of that squad is kind of bare. You're allocating all of your assets and your funding into one player, but that entire Barcelona side was effective because of everyone around Messi as well. When you start getting into these situations of, we can't afford the rest of the squad because that one fucker up there is worth half the stadium combined. It's like that becomes ridiculous to me. But the issue is that they're not really seeming like they can figure out where to play him, because they've tried him in the middle. Yeah, they tried him in a 10. They've tried him a little bit wider on the wing. He can't sit deep because he's not a defensive player. So then you're like, okay, well then is he a little bit more box to box? We didn't expect that because that's not what we've seen in the past. Yeah. All of the footage that we've reviewed of him in our recruiting has not lent us to believe that he is a box to box guy. His passing's not quite there. Almost every game, several times, he tries a little no look flick and the little stylized flares that he did use in the Bundesliga, so that he knows how to do it. But he's always picking the wrong time. In the Premier League, those channels close down way quicker anyway. So you can see that he's trying to go into his Rolodex of technique, and it's not really coming off. And I don't know if he is able to then adapt to that style. Because if you're if you're a big flair guy, if you're a Neymar in a lower level league and you're able to just waltz past people at a canter, right? And you step up to a higher league and you're not able to do that anymore, are you able to correct and say, you know what? Less is more. 1 to 2 touches is all that I get, not even what I need, but what I can get. And I don't know if he's able to really maximize what he can do in this tougher league. Everything's just a little bit shorter, everything's just a little bit tighter, everything's just a little bit less than you're used to.
Well, they said Haaland couldn't score those goals he scored in the German league because it was easy. Yeah. And he came to this league and he's showing you guys it's not that easy.
Well, because he was a brutish kind of player, his pace is his pace, and as long as you can get the ball over the top and he's able to put a shoulder down past the defender and he's 1-on-1 with the keeper, he can score against anybody. But when you're asking somebody that's much more technical on the ball and finding those longer passing lanes, whether he can do it or not, I think in general is obviously he can, but he's got to figure out how to rework.
I think the team cohesion is off too.
Yes.
This team that Slot is building, to be honest, with all regards, I really don't know what's the plan. Every weekend just looks like guys they put together. It's like, hey, this is Sunday league. You get in.
It's obviously not just tactics either, because you're looking at guys. Where did Gravenberg go? What happened? He's not look, if the rest of the team is in shambles, if the tactics are not what you're wanting in an offensive build-up, if your passing on transition is in shambles as well, at least as a holding midfielder, you can go, look, I can at least use my legs to get out of the situation as long as I don't leave the back line exposed. You should still be able to cover what you're trying. No one's asking you to advance too far. But even he looks like he's not fit. McAllister doesn't look fit. It's coming down to not only individual performances and quality and lack of tactics overall, but they just don't look like they're physically up to par. It's it feels like something's gone wrong in training for weeks. and then it's actually affecting them in the games.
Man, Bradley could the keeper with Doku though. One thing I would say with Doku, I was really criticizing the guy last year. But one thing I've seen overall is the evolution and the fact that he's getting better. He's polishing a lot. Being that technical with the ability to match efficiency with it becomes very dangerous, man. I felt sorry for Bradley. It looks like he was about to speed up every single time.
I think that Doku heard the rumors that he was getting eyed by Tottenham, and was like, "Oh shit, I gotta figure this out real quick." And no, I mean he's unlocked that final piece. Because no one could say anything about his pace. No one could say anything about his dribbling. His bursts of energy and technicality from that first 10 yards is unbelievable. He just needed a finished product, which does not always mean scoring goals, but finding that final pass. And he's somehow been able to unlock both of those. So now that every time that he does have the ball, he's not just a pace merchant that's ripping it down the wing and then holds up play. It's like he looks like he knows what he can do with the ball for himself and for others. And you take every one of those threats seriously.
Seriously, yeah. So I'm also interested to see how they do this season with this, especially that this is Guardiola's last year. So
he might resign. You don't know. We'll see what happens.